That being said, mixing a drink is way simpler than you'd imagine. Just pick your favorite ingredients, toss them in a glass, mix it up, and it's done. So go ahead, explore the bar, and bring me any ingredients you prefer. Nice work. Let me take a look. You found some interesting ingredients there. Now take your pick. Each drink has its own unique flavor, and the base ingredient sets the tone for the initial taste and the lingering aftertaste. So, which one would you like to use as the base? Sweeter than Sousa juice and more bitter than dream syrup. Dream in a bottle. That's a metaphor for Penacony itself. Now that you've chosen the base, it's time to pick the adjunct. The ingredient that'll create a marvelous chemical reaction with the base. It should give an unforgettable taste without overpowering the main tone. So, what's your choice for the adjunct? Bright future. A taste that's been a long time coming. I'll never forget the flavor that danced on my tongue as Mikhail whisked me through the dreamscape wilderness. Those were haunting times. Too beautiful to be real.
Mikhail.
Almost there. Let's pick a decoration. Which style do you prefer? Anything you need, I've got it. The IPC's favorite. Ambitious, aren't you? Well, it's done. Here's to you, lost sheep, with this glass of the big sleep. To the ghosts of the past.
Well done, Gallagher. You're not over the hill yet.
So, are you satisfied?
Oh, the flavors! They're way more sophisticated than Soul Glad.
The richness and layers of these flavors are a masterpiece, especially with the adjuncts. I can taste the spicy and sour notes with a hint of sweetness. I'm not entirely sure what it all means. Maybe Mr. Gallagher can shed some light on it.
Well, if you're expecting a profound answer, I'm afraid I'll disappoint you. The imagery it implies is pretty straightforward. It's just a glimpse of what this dream truly tastes like. Nothing more.
Does this true taste have anything to do with that Mikhail?
Yeah, that name does sound familiar. When you got knocked out by that masked fool girl, I think I heard someone calling that name. Do you remember?
I was right about you. You guys seem to know quite a bit, and now there's no reason to hide anything from you anymore. Let's dig deeper into the case, and of course, I'll tell you a story about Mikhail. All right, let's start with what we know based on the clues the family has. It seems that Firefly isn't a local or an invited guest. In other words, she's a stowaway. She managed to fool me at first. My age must be getting the best of me. But here on the planet of festivities, stowaways are a common sight. You're bound to run into one sooner or later. After the incident, the hounds wasted no time searching for that girl in both the dreamscape and reality. But here's the thing. We only received bad news, and the trickiest kind at that. She simply vanished, leaving no trace in the dreamscape or reality. as if she had never come to Penacony at all.
Huh? Does that mean...
Different? Are you suggesting that girl wasn't actually killed? Come on, aren't you a witness in this case? Let me be frank. This case, actually, is unlike anything the Bloodhound family has dealt with before.
Dealt with before, so death does happen in Penacony, if I understand correctly.
You've witnessed it, so there's no need to hide. Even the shiniest city has its dark side. We're all adults here. Surely I don't need to explain too much to you. Confronting the family based on that alone would be naive. Death may occur in sweet dreams. So what? Such events are highly unlikely and only affect a tiny number of people. If you really want to delve deeper into this case, you need to understand the true problem with the family.
I guess it's time to tell the story of that Mikhail.
You're very perceptive. The Astral Express has received that music box too, right? Do you know the secrets it holds?
There's a message. Witness the impossible in the realm of dreams. Find the legacy of the Watchmaker, father of Penacony, and thus the answer to the question, why does life slumber?
That's the exact wording.
Hey, why are you laughing? Wait, did you write it? It's quite poetic.
No, but I'm the officer in charge of this case. So how could I not know? I'm sure you must have noticed that this message didn't come from the family. You might have even guessed that the relationship between the family and the Watchmaker isn't as close as it seems.
That's just our speculation. Actually, it's hard to believe that the father of Penacony and its actual managers are at odds.
Now I can assure you that your speculation is absolutely correct. The family has considered the Watchmaker an enemy for a long time, but the hounds haven't been able to track him down, as he seems to be living only in the characters and stories he created. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why the family allowed the Watchmaker to send out such a ridiculous message to the outside world, inviting you here and causing chaos?
So, you want to seize this opportunity to expose the Watchmaker?
Well, now you understand why the Oak family authorized the Nameless to assist in the investigation, but kept you in the dark, right? Because the Watchmaker is not the legend of the land of the dreams at all. He's the most shameful stain in the history of Penacony, and he's the root cause of all the anomalies in the dreamscape. You don't get it? Well, I mean, Mikhail, the betrayer of the family, he's the Watchmaker. Here we are, Clock Studios Theme Park, the most popular entertainment center in Penacony.
Wait, aren't we supposed to be discussing the Watchmaker? I would have expected you to take us to maybe a library or an archive room of sorts, but an amusement park?
The culture of a city reflects its history in the most authentic way. To you, it's a fun place, but to me, it's a prison for the planet's past. You know that Penacony used to be the IPC's prison planet, right? All the prisoners were brought here, helping the Garden of Recollection salvage the leaking memoria from the macrovoid. The prolonged exposure to high concentrations of memoria caused a unique phenomenon. The dreams of countless prisoners intersected and overlapped, and people started meeting each other in their dreams, living lives that were almost identical to reality. But everything has a price, and sweet dreams are no exception. In the end, The dream world was unable to alleviate the suffering of prisoners in reality. One of the prisoners broke free from the IPC shackles and fought for freedom. He is Hanu, the great leader of Dreamville, the great peacemaker, and the faithful companion of the underdogs. History is always written by the winners. However, it's undeniable that Clocky is an animation that draws from Penacony's actual history. These characters not only exist in Dreamville, but also in the distant past. Once you realize this, you'll understand why we're here.
There are so many members of the Bloodhound family around here.
They just received a lockdown order, supposedly from Sunday himself. Who knows what it's for? So many of them. I've never seen anything like this, even when they're tracking down suspects. Well, it's a masterpiece from the family, after all. Besides the followers of the preservation, the family members are the best at creating mind-blowing marvels. Let's find a quiet spot and continue our conversation. The view here is great, right? We can see everything from here, including Clocky.
If all the characters in the animation are based on characters in reality, then Clocky's counterpart is definitely the Watchmaker. In the animation, he's Hanu's partner and one of the founders of Dreamville. Does that mean the Watchmaker was personally involved in that war and sided with Asdana?
It was a monumental war for freedom. Hanunu fought alongside a motley crew of masked fools, nameless, history fictionologists, mourning actors, omen vanguards, even visitors from beyond the sky. In the end, they emerged victorious. Among them was the person who would eventually be known as the Watchmaker.
But if you do the math, doesn't that mean the Watchmaker was around for several centuries?
I'm not sure, but Mikhail was already the Watchmaker when I met him, so maybe he inherited the title.
How old are you now, Mr. Officer?
I'm 13.
No way! Not even close.
Hanunu freed the frontier prison, but peace still eluded him. With limited resources, threats from the outside world, and internal conflicts between major prison districts, the future of Asdana was uncertain. It wasn't until the Watchmaker approached the family with the idea of turning the prison into the planet of festivities that Penacony finally gained its name and glory.
Thus, he became known as the Father of Penacony.
But didn't you say the Watchmaker betrayed the family? And you said you were his companion, so that means you...
No, I'm not his companion, but rather one of his many children. But I am indeed a traitor. Not to the family, but to Mikhail.
What did you do?
I did nothing. And that's the worst betrayal of all. Just like you, I had close companions. We dedicated ourselves to Penacony. But the Oak family, they set us up. Mikhail was too old to protect his children anymore. So we left the family to find our own path. We were branded traitors of the Harmony, even though the true traitors were someone else. While they continue to praise the Watchmaker's name in the world, behind closed doors, they condemn him on a pillar of shame. Nevertheless, we wanted to clear his name. We intended to find the real traitor, the one responsible for all this, and restore harmony to Penacony. But we failed. Too much time had passed, and the land of the dreams had become deeply corrupted. After countless fruitless pursuits, I gave up. Like a lost dog. The family accepted me and made me an officer, supposedly as a form of forgiveness. But it was actually a punishment. Since then, I've been completely cut off from my partners and my past. As for Mikhail, I heard he died in obscurity, in a place where no one could find him. That's when I realized that the Penacony I once knew would never return.